Hola amigos and welcome back. Today's video is a video that has been much requested by many of you, so I'm finally sitting down to do this. Firstly, if you are new to this channel, welcome. I'm David. I've been travelling full-time for the last 3 years while working online as a YouTuber and also as an online teacher in order to sustain myself. And I've recently just spent around 15 months in Mexico. So this video is all about my top 10 places to visit in Mexico in 2019. Before we get started, just starting to think about a bit of a disclaimer. You won't be seeing places in this video like Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, San Miguel de Allende, places that are extremely popular with foreigners. Many of the places in this video are related to people like me, i.e. people that are long-term travelling, digital nomads working online. However, saying that, if you are someone that is looking to come to Mexico for a short vacation for a week or 2 weeks, then some of the places in this video you may not have heard of, and some of these places may be a fantastic location to add to your Mexico itinerary. So with that in mind, let's get going. Number 10, Guanajuato. Guanajuato City is a fantastically colourful city located in central Mexico in the state of the same name. It's somewhat popular with expats and tourists alike. As a result, Guanajuato is an ideal location for those of you who are visiting Mexico for the first time, as you're likely to run into fellow English speakers on a daily basis. Guanajuato is arguably a tourist-oriented destination, reflected in the cost of living in comparison to elsewhere in Mexico. However, it should definitely not be discounted. Some top tips: check out the Mummy Museum and walk up to Monumento El Pepila for awesome views of the city. Consider bringing a bag you carry rather than a suitcase with wheels. Guanajuato has extreme elevation changes and, due to narrow streets, can at times be somewhat unfriendly for pedestrians. Number 9, Puebla. Located just a couple of hours from Mexico City, Puebla can often be many visitors' first experience of the spectacular colonial architecture on offer in Mexico. The food in Puebla is mouth-watering. Check out semitas, chalupas, and mole poblano, a historic Mexican signature dish. As well as spending time in Puebla itself with its stunning Zocalo and numerous churches, I'm being a bit cheeky by also throwing in Cholula, which features the world's largest pyramid, and Atlixco, a wonderful magic town in the vicinity where you can gain spectacular views of Volcan Popocatépetl. Number 8, Taxco. We're now heading south to the state of Guerrero and the beautiful silver town of Taxco, an example of Mexico's rich history of silver mining. Taxco is small and walkable, has affordable accommodation, and is around 4 hours on the bus from Mexico City. Great experiences in this town include trying pozole, heading up to Hotel Monte Taxco on the awesome Teleferico, and learning more about silver mining history in Guerrero and indeed Mexico itself by heading down the mines at Mina Prehispanica. Number 7, Bernal. Destination number 7 in Mexico goes to the state of Queretaro, or more specifically the town of Bernal. This city is beautiful and almost brought me to tears. Some of the great things about Bernal are the diverse food on offer, for example enchiladas queretanas, and its wine and cheese history. Queretaro State is the number 2 producer of wine in Mexico after Baja California. But the jewel in Bernal's crown is the awe-inspiring Peña de Bernal, the world's largest monolith. It can be tough to climb to the top, but it's absolutely worth it for spectacular views of the town. A trip to Bernal is easily done on a short day trip from Querétaro itself. Visit on Cinco de Mayo to witness some immense celebrations. Number 6, Mexico City. Where do I even start? Having Mexico's capital city as number 6 may seem slightly bizarre, as I could quite easily describe 10 of the best places in the city itself. However, Mexico City as a whole is a diverse mix of culture, history, architecture, proud and patriotic locals, and some of the best food you will ever find in the entire world. Mexico City is also diverse in relation to affluence. Areas such as Polanco, Santa Fe, Condesa and Roma tend to be more popular with tourists and expats for comfort reasons as well as safety, but this doesn't mean you shouldn't consider staying in lesser known areas such as Doctores, Guerrero, Nápoles and Navarte, each of which provide you with that authentic Mexican experience. Transportation in Mexico City is world class, whether you choose to use Uber, the CDMX subway, domestic flights or one of the numerous bus stations with frequent buses to a variety of destinations throughout Mexico. I lived in Mexico City for many months. You can find countless videos on my channel. If you have any specific questions, let me know in the comments. One thing to be conscious of in Mexico City is the altitude and air quality. It can be tough at certain times of the year. Remember, on a short visit you will need time for your body to adjust. Number 5. Jerez de Garcia Salinas. That's right, we are into my top 5 places to visit in Mexico. In the state of Zacatecas in central Mexico lies a little known small magic town going by the name of Jerez. A town full of passionate and proud locals who embody everything I love about Mexico. Additionally, there's amazing food, there's frequent festivals, there's music in the form of tamborazo, impressive churches, theatres and much more. Jerez is the Mexico no one tells you about. Get lost in a small town that packs a huge punch and meet the people that make Mexico the country that it is today. Jerez is full of history. Learn about the founding of the town and its history in relation to the Mexican Revolution. Jerez is just a short bus ride from Zacatecas and is an absolute must for any trip to Mexico. Number 4. Real de Catorce. If you're expecting a cozy resort or a beach location, you're going to be disappointed. But there's no way you can be disappointed by Real de Catorce, a tiny ex-mining town nestled deep in the Mexican desert in the north of the state of San Luis Potosí. Getting there from San Luis, Matehuala or Cedral can take some time, but it's worth every penny. Wander through the quiet streets early in the morning, watching local children heading to school, abuelas setting up their souvenir shops and locals preparing mind-blowing gorditas. Head out of the town itself or ride a horse up to the ghost town for one of the most breathtaking views of the town you will ever see. Real de Catorce is a once-in-a-lifetime experience in Mexico. Do not miss out. Number 3. Acapulco. We're heading back to the state of Guerrero as we head into the top 3, amigos. A controversial choice considering Acapulco has had a reputation for cartel-related violence in recent years and has seen a plunge in international tourism since its heyday as a haven for celebrities and the rich and famous. You would be right to be concerned, however, domestic tourism is still evident in Acapulco and crime generally only affects those involved in criminal activity. Additionally, accommodation prices can be lower than more popular destinations in Mexico such as Puerto Vallarta and Cancun. Acapulco is beautiful. Head to areas such as La Quebrada for stunning views into the Pacific, or enjoy some food at one of the many seafood restaurants along the popular tourist area Playa Condesa. The key with Acapulco is to look past what the media tells you, make up your own mind and imagine what it was like for the likes of Elizabeth Taylor and Elvis Presley many, many moons ago. Number 2. Zacatecas. It was extremely difficult to choose my top 2 destinations in Mexico, but for number 2 I went with Zacatecas. 2 problems you can face throughout Mexico are not only difficulties at high altitude but also extreme heat. But Zacatecas is like the porridge in Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. It's just right. Zacatecas is a happy medium in comparison to other areas of Mexico. Another town famous in Mexico for silver, gold, onyx and quartz mining, There are so many activities, including visiting Mina El Eden, head up the Teleferico to Cerro de la Bufa, visit the famous Cantina Las Quince Letras, and best of all, experience tamborazo, as you also would have experienced in Jerez, a traditional style of Mexican music involving a small band which gets all the locals on their feet. There's nothing quite like Zacatecas. It's time for my number one place in Mexico. Number one, San Luis Potosi. Somewhere you've never heard of, right? Well, get ready to find out what Mexico is really like. San Luis is everything. Spectacular food, including affordable enchiladas potosinas and huastecas, the famous Costanza chocolate, in other words, the best chocolate you will ever taste, the huge Tangamanga Parks 1 and 2, endless city squares surrounded by churches, cathedrals, and fantastic transport links to elsewhere in the state, such as La Huasteca Potosina, Xilitla, and the Edward James Surreal Garden. San Luis is far more affordable than some other cities in Mexico, but the thing that sets it apart is an authentic, genuine, and welcoming experience where you can enjoy what the real Mexico has to offer. The thing that makes the difference in San Luis is the people. Hospitable, generous, and proud. Potosinos and Potosinas will go out of their way to ensure you're comfortable and have an enjoyable time, which is what Mexico is all about. Mi casa es tu casa. So that was my top 10 places to visit in Mexico in 2019. I hope you found this video useful, amigos, in terms of planning your trip to Mexico, and hopefully there's been a few eye-openers in terms of places that you could go rather than places that you hear about in travel brochures. And I will be back in Mexico in a few months, as I've said in previous videos, so more than likely in a year's time there will probably be another video with another 10 places in that awesome country. And you know what? The thing I wanted to say as well to end this is that travel is different for everyone. So, you know, you've noticed that I didn't put places like Puerto Vallarta. I've been there, but it just wasn't really for me. That doesn't mean that it won't be for you. And, you know, we're all at different stages of our life. We're all looking for different things in terms of travel. So this video is purely just another opinion to add to your plethora of opinions you've probably been hearing already. So whatever you do in Mexico, I hope you have an amazing time. If you do have any questions about any particular destinations or indeed long-term travel in Mexico, working online while in Mexico, let me know in the comments. I will be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching. There'll be more videos coming up from Canada very soon, and I'll catch you later.